Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Real quick, just want to say if you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you like the content, we have a lot more great content on the way. But if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, and you don't subscribe, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It will make me a very, very happy person. And I want to give a shout out to a subscriber, Cool Beans Entertainment. Cool Beans Entertainment. Thank you very much for being a subscriber. I really appreciate it. Check them out on YouTube, Cool Beans Entertainment. Okay, I wanted to jump on because I saw some interesting news today, and it concerns CM Punk. Could CM Punk be coming back? I know that's been the topic of discussion for years. For years, ever since he decided to walk away from professional wrestling. Is CM Punk coming back? Every time I think the WWE went to Chicago and it was a pay-per-view, everybody would be like, CM Punk is CM Punk. Is CM Punk showing up? That's the big thing. Will CM Punk show up? So that's the news, man. Everyone wants. I don't should say everyone, but there is still a great demand for CM Punk to return to professional wrestling. And he said, and this is an article from Wrestling Inc. Came out earlier today. It says CM Punk has not closed the door on a potential ring return. It was noted that the right situation, right amount of money, and right door would have to be presented to Punk for him to work with the right people. CM Punk, who is being interviewed by Raj Prasad of Uprocks, stated, was it? I think the right combination could maybe be figured out, but it's not for me to figure out. It's not my world anymore. I'm certainly not Hulk Hogan, where I'm going to show up somewhere and like, no, this is how it's going to be. The wrestling world doesn't necessarily need CM Punk. That's absolutely fine. Everyone seems to be doing great. I don't know. It's like flavors of ice cream. I walk into an ice cream shop one time and I'm like, oh, that seems like a good flavor. Give me 2 scoops of that. It's got to be the right time, right place, right situation. So CM Punk kind of hinting that he would come back if the situation's right, if the place was right, and of course, if the money was right. And CM Punk is very smart. CM Punk is very, very, very smart. He knows there's a huge demand for him to return to professional wrestling, and he knows that WWE wants to be the promotion that he returns, and AEW wants to be that promotion. New Japan Pro Wrestling wants to be that promotion, and they're going to shell out money when he's ready to come back. When he's ready to come back, he's he's gonna demand quite a bit of money, and I think he's gonna get it. And he also said, says Punk sees more interesting potential opponents in AEW when he looks at the current landscape of pro wrestling. He named AEW World Champion Kenny Omega as what might be the biggest possible opponent for him, but he also named Triple H on the WWE side. From CM Punk, from a creative mind standpoint, stepping back and looking at the landscape of everything. There are people in the WWE that I've wrestled before. Maybe in a certain situation could be interesting. There's also the business side of things. What's the biggest possible match for CM Punk? I think there's Kenny Omega on the one side. And unfortunately, ironically, for me to go back to WWE, who's the biggest match for me? It's probably Triple H. That's ironic because nothing I'm interested in. That's ironic because it's nothing I'm interested in. It's just what it is. Am I going to be a businessman and say that's the match? That's the big money match? Well, it's not my money, so it's not for me to say. So he's kind of he's hinting that he wants Kenny Omega. He's not interested in Triple H. I really think that we're going to see him in AEW. And believe me, Tony Khan has the money. Tony Khan would shell out an enormous amount of money if he could get CM Punk on his show on AEW pay per view 1-on-1 against Kenny Omega. CM Punk wants Kenny Omega. He basically says it here that Kenny Omega is the match that he wants. And there's also another interesting match for him that he was called out recently by Will Ospreay, New Japan Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He says Will Ospreay is one of the guys he would come out of retirement for. So New Japan Pro Wrestling is a destination as well. But would he want to travel all the way out there? I don't know. I'm not CM Punk, but it seems like here he's kind of hinting that he wants Kenny Omega, and AEW would be the front runner if he ever decide to come back. And I do think he's going to come back. And I know a lot of people are out there saying, well, enough is enough with CM Punk. He's not coming back, or if he's coming back, who cares? It's been too long. It's been, years now. Let's move on. But no, a lot of people want CM Punk back. And whichever promotion gets CM Punk, AEW, whichever promotion gets CM Punk to come back, they are going to be the buzz of the professional wrestling world. And it just, I think there's a very good chance it can happen. I think there's a very good chance it can happen. I know AEW, I've read reports that they've already been in contact in the past with CM Punk. And I think there's a good chance. But then again, like I said, CM Punk, very, very, very smart, very, very smart individual. He's not rushing back. He knows that there's a demand for him. He knows that every promotion wants him to make the return in their promotion, and he knows that they'll shell out the money. He knows that, and he's very smart, and he's playing it cool. And sooner or later he's gonna agree to something, whether it's AEW, whether it's New Japan Pro Wrestling, whether it's WWE. He's gonna agree to something, and he's gonna make an enormous amount of money, have a tremendous match. That promotion will be the buzz of the professional wrestling world, and I think it'll be a great moment for professional wrestling. I personally would love to see CM Punk come back one-on-one against Kenny Omega, or one-on-one against Will Ospreay in New Japan Pro Wrestling. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast, heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.